got a buffer on it.
Okay, you're recording?
Thank you. 4 o'clock. Okay, Jill.
It sure is.
It's time for our regular meeting this afternoon, Wednesday, January the 21st, 2026. You might notice, well, does everybody have an agenda like me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we have a new style agenda, thank you, Alice, and
Nice.
Josh. And so when you make a motion or you second it, I hate it when I do that to that word, and speak up. Okay, thank you. Need a motion to approve the board minutes of January 7th, 2026.
I'll make a motion to approve the board minutes as written.
Second.
Second. Anybody have any questions regarding corrections or anything? Okay, vote by raising your hand, please. Unanimous. 2, the payment of claims. I need a motion for that, please, and second.
All motion.
I'll
Who
second
was
it.
that?
Motion.
Okay, thank you,
I second it.
thank you. Anybody have any questions regarding the claims and et cetera? Okay,
Mary, I'm just speaking for the mayor. He said that he looked at the payables and there was like 3 out of the 6 or whatever that he said that were off by a few cents. So I don't know. I don't have a copy here to tell which ones they are, but he said it's just a matter of cents. And so I don't know.
oh, of all the claims?
Yeah,
Those are more likely rounding in the system.
yeah, okay.
Out of all the money we're
Okay.
discussing.
It balances, it's
3
just,
cents.
it's the rounding in the system.
Thank you.
I did not catch
Moving on,
that. I've got a vote.
yes, vote please. Unanimous. The next regular meeting will be held on Wednesday, February the 4th, 2026, at 4 o'clock in this room. Okay, do we have any public that wants to speak?
Not here.
Nope, okay. Old business? No old business, okay. New business. I'd like to have a motion to approve the Peru Waterworks SRS disbursement request number 9 to Wessler Engineering.
I'll make a motion to
Say,
approve attachment 6A.
Second.
motion, second. Anybody have any questions, any discussions about this subject? Apparently not. All those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous. B, need a motion to approve the Peru Waterworks SRS disbursement request number 10 at Watson, to Watson Excavating, attachment 6B.
Make a motion to approve SRF.
Thank
I'll
you.
second it.
Thank you. Discussion? Okay. Vote? Unanimous. I just thought of something. When I asked the board for discussion or questions or comments or anything, everybody doesn't really know that I am speaking to the board only. If I was going to speak to everyone, I would bring them in the conversation.
Correct. I mean, yeah. it's
If
for
you
the-
recall. Okay, thank you. I should have verified that at that time better. Okay, C, 6C, approve the Peru Sewage Work SRF disbursement request number 64 to Hazen and Sawyer.
Make a motion to accept 6C attachment.
I'll second.
Thank you. Questions, discussions of any kind regarding this
He's off from there.
6C? Okay, no, have a vote now, please raise your hands, thank you, unanimous. Letter D, approve Peru Sewage Works SRF disbursement request number 65 to Lockmiller Group.
Make a motion to approve SRF 65.
Second it.
Okay. Motion, second. Comments? Okay, thank you. Vote? Unanimous. 6E. Check here. Here it is. 6E. Approve the Peru Sewage Works SRF disbursement request number 66 to Freeman Construction.
I'll make a motion to accept attachment 6E as written.
Second.
Thank you, thank you. Does anyone have any comments about this? 6E? Okay, let's have a vote. Unanimous? 6F. Oh, great. We'll have a little break right now. Looking for F. It's up there.
Right.
Thank you.
That's G.
Is that it?
There's F. Sorry.
Oh, it's the
You
one.
can have it.
Applicants. Okay. Thank you. Approve to replace truck number 357-2015 Ford Transit Van Attachment 6F.
I'll make a motion that we accept 6F attachment.
I'll second.
Dodge Durango.
So the Transit's 11 years old. Our recommendation is to go with Daniel Chrysler for the Durango at $40,736. We have $50,000 approved in the 2026 capital budget. We didn't go back with the van. Well, the Transits themselves are in the 48,000 range now, and that van is it's really used as a lab vehicle and plant-related work, and we take it to do testing, and we use it for summer help, and so it's always kind of been used. It's just not manufactured very well, and it's impractical for us. So that's why we kind of transitioning to the SUV. It's more multifunctional. That van's really not multifunctional for the utility at all.
It looks pretty good. I mean, it looks relatively new and,
Are we trading that in?
The inside is not new.
okay.
It's
Are
11
we-
years old. We're gonna put it either internally bid or put it on Gov Deals.
On what?
Deals.com.
So auction it off on Gov Deals.
Okay.
Are there needs that justify just the full-size SUV over just a smaller SUV?
Over the baby van.
Well, not over the baby van,
Oh,
but
I
just a
got you.
smaller SUV.
Well, I
It
think
says
they-
you're gonna get
I
an
think they
SUV,
look
but
like
that's a full-size.
in Equinox as well, which is a little smaller than the Durango, and it wasn't up to par as the full size SUV. I don't know if that's Equinox. Is that a full size SUV? I don't
We
know.
actually went and got in and out of it, and for the people in our department, they don't fit in some of those smaller ones when we travel together. Him as an example, if we do go to conferences or training sessions or whatever, and we try to put multiple of us in one vehicle to go,
I get it. I've had a Durango and I've gotten this other one.
we don't fit. So, yeah,
Well,
yeah, that was the reasoning there. I
I can
fit.
stand up and turn around.
So,
It's always me in the back.
Well, I think we ought to get an Escalade for him.
Jeez. Not
Wait a
80,000,
minute.
Mary.
I'm
40,000.
struggling.
We're not
I'm
spending that much
struggling
money,
with this.
Mary.
Yeah. And you know, we spend a lot of money on training for our employees because it's required to maintain their licensing and their certifications. And we're throwing them in the back of dirty pickup trucks as well, and they don't have any cover for their bags and stuff if they're in the back of trucks. And so this will be multifunctional. This one can go on job sites. When the train's a van, you get in an inch of mud, you're gonna get stuck, and it's just so. This is more, as I said, multifunctional for the whole division of water management than that
Yeah.
van.
How much more are we gonna have involved in updating this Durango?
Like
to
putting the strobes on and things like that.
Yeah.
We typically have anywhere from 1,500 to 2,000 in every vehicle.
Oh, I know.
Okay, you're waiting on me, sorry.
No, it's okay. I looked up comparable costs and the quote from O'Brien was excellent. It was at the bottom of what was
Yeah,
available online as well.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and you know, typically anymore we have the white vehicles and we just look at kind of what's on the lot that fits our lots that fit our so we try to go to everyone, and if they don't really have anything on the lot, I know Daniel is so big that they can order anything, they can get it in a timely fashion, and you know, like I said, we try to do the locals as well, but our the Chrysler, we didn't have a white one out there, Chrysler, and like I said, Daniel usually blows them out of the water because they do so much volume. Sorry, Mary, go ahead.
Oh, it's okay.
Well,
This is yours.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so anybody else have anything to say regarding that? Okay, we'll move on to voting then.
okay.
Those in favor? Unanimous. G, 6G. Replace truck number 363-2006 Ford F-450. Attachment 6G.
Make a motion, do we accept attachment 6G?
Okay,
Second.
thank you. Discussion.
Yes. Now, they're saying 3 to 6 months. And the estimate of the truck was at 10,000. Are we going to understand this amount will change? Down.
Yeah. We're gonna use the dump truck for another 3 to 6 months, so that whatever the market value is at that point
Is that
on the trade-in, if we trade it, or actually we're gonna auction it to Gov Deals or internally auction it.
is that an internal estimate or official quote?
they came and looked it over and gave us the 10,000 for what it would be worth if we traded it in with them.
Oh, so it was.
That was, yes.
Brad House?
Yes, yes. That was the value that they
Yeah.
assigned to.
Now, is the 80,000 gonna decrease by 10,000 or is it gonna stay the same?
The purchase price is $80,856 for the dump truck.
That's what I want to know.
Do we believe that we'll do better on Gov Deals than what we would with the trade-in value at Brad House?
I think that was what Jamin and Jim, when they
Typically,
discussed
yeah.
it, that was.
Typically
the-
we will.
Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah.
And that doesn't mean we always do, but typically we do a little bit more on Gov Deals.
With all the upgrades and everything that's gonna be on this truck, we're still gonna be within the 90,000, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Where is this Brad Howell Ford?
Kokomo.
Kokomo.
And like on dump trucks, the 350 is usually what the smaller dealerships do, and they get up to the 350. But we want the larger ones. Brad does a lot of industrial. Brad Howell does a lot of industrial. Daniel does. Button can order it, but you know, but again, it's 3 to 6 months out.
Okay. At all? Discussion? We'll have a vote. All those in favor? Unanimous. H. Approve the 2025 South Intercept West Sewer Lining Project bid. 6H. I need a motion, please.
Make a motion to 6H.
Thank you.
Second that.
Thank you.
So we've talked about this a few times. This is the along Riverside Drive between Broadway Bridge and the wastewater plant. It's just under half a mile. This was part of the CSO 11 upgrade for the long-term control plan. The estimate for that in our GMP for the overall project was around $610,000. We felt like we could do better by hiring it out ourselves and being the GC on this. So that's where you get in situ form. That's our recommendation for $349,703.44. We've worked with in situ form. Actually, we've worked with both of the inliner and in situ form, if I'm correct, and they're both really good contractors. And Nick, do you have anything to add on that project?
No, I mean, just the cleaning of it alone is going to help tremendously. And then once they line it, which, are you familiar with that process? What I'm talking about is basically an epoxy coated sock that they turn inside out, then it's cured with steam and it replaces the pipe with a brand new pipe inside. So any voids or collapses that could happen, it alleviates all of that. It removes all of the infiltration from groundwater. This section happens to be underwater at times when the river's up, so it would reduce a lot of that inflow that we should be getting into the plant.
Does that bid include like contingencies and?
Like if that lining collapses, there's a warranty that's associated with it, yes. And then if there's any taps from the houses that are along Riverside that are missed, they're responsible for restoring all of those taps. And if they miss one, they have to come back and fix anything that was caused by that tap filling up and potentially going back into the home.
And part of that is as well as the cleaning, and if there's roots in there, they've got to get the roots out. They've got to grind the roots.
If they find any collapses that are would not let them line it, they'd have to dig down and repair that before they can start the lining.
Yeah. But of course, there are always things that I guess could happen that aren't included in that quote, as far as change orders maybe. But we typically don't get too many change orders because that's a really good job specification that they have on that, and it's very encompassing of the whole. The entire job, so that we don't typically get change orders. As a matter of fact, I think last time it might have been inliner on one that they were like, we didn't really plan for this, and we were like, well.
It was the cleaning.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. It's more cleaning than we thought.
When we did the east side.
Yeah, and we were like,
I was gonna say,
So
we
it's
had
stated
this
heavy cleaning,
project
which
already.
in that industry,
Before.
it's specific on what exactly
Similar to
heavy cleaning
this.
was. And it's basically where all the sewer lines end up before they get to the plant. A lot of grit settles out, and it looks like black sand. It's not septic necessarily, but it's taking up a lot of volume in the pipe.
but they held true to the contract, and we held true to the contract, and it was a good project too. So this is gonna be critical for all the I&I, getting rid of all the I&I, and really the CSO 11 part of the the long-term control plan project. This will be critical as far as the data goes, as far as what type of flow we have through there once we get a few rain events after this is done. So this is important that we get done.
Anything else? I think we need a vote then. Unanimous, thank you very much. Next, we have the letter I, 6I, approve lead service line replacement project, phase 2, engineer, attached 6I.
Make a motion to accept attachment 6I.
Second.
Discussion?
So this is for we discussed last meeting that now we are eligible and have been offered $10 million for phase 2 of the lead service lining project. 5 million at 0% and 5 million as a forgivable ban or grant. As required, we have to have the design, we have to have it engineered, we have to have it bid out, and we also have to have construction administration and project inspection as required. So this is the cost for 2 years worth of that $10 million project. So the entirety of the $10 million project, but it's spread over 2 years. So I want to be more specific. And it's just it's the cost of these. At least it's government funded project. So we can't say this is an unfunded project. It's a partially funded project this time. So that's $855,000. And Wessler's the one doing the first $5 million currently that you okayed some expenses. We definitely want to keep them on board.
I think you probably talked about it, but I didn't worry about it until I realized money was going out. The time frame on their payout for that, is it?
They've said we don't have to go by that time frame to get the full first 5 million
Yeah, when
completely
is that?
paid for. They've said they've given us all leeway and grace on that. So
Well,
we
no,
don't
when's
have
the
to,
government gonna provide that money?
the new $10 million.
Yeah,
We're working on that for April or May closing
okay.
to
And I
finish that part of it. Yeah,
And I thought we talked about it before, but
Yep, we did.
We're not borrowing that money then.
we are. We're borrowing $5
On
million.
top of everything else we're gonna have to do down the road.
This is up for the lead service line stuff. Yeah, we're borrowing 5 million at 0%, and then an additional 5 million is a ban or grant or a forgivable ban or grant. And then, as we discussed last meeting, for our initial assessment of the rates, we will not have to raise rates. The rate study we did 2 years ago is sufficient to pay for the next $10 million. This financing here.
But not the Second Street and Canal, right?
No, this is totally different. We're talking water, and we're talking,
So
that's the long-term control plan on the wastewater side.
And as a comment, I noticed per service, they're at an average of $7,500 per service, which is really reasonable for lead service line replacement.
It is, and I think we'll get it. I think we'll be below that once they get moving.
Yeah, there's some larger cities that are seeing as high as 13,000 per service.
That's a
So
robbery.
I know.
But it's government.
7,500 or less is excellent.
But the second you put government money in there, and the ratepayers are paying for all this government money, then it automatically becomes more expensive because these guys have been really good so far, I believe. And the first looks like we spent a couple $100,000 already.
With Watson?
What's your
Correct.
assessment of them?
So far, I mean, we're still in the potholing phase, identifying, what our side of the service lines are and what the customer sides are. Probably if we have decent weather come mid-March, they will actually start replacing service lines at that time. So I'll have, or Jamin will have a better feel on how their actual work is going, so.
Now this $10 million is not bid out yet, obviously. We just talked about the engineer having to do
And
the
we
bid
may
and everything. So Watson will have to go back in and rebid this. We could have two contractors
Yeah,
doing
we may
this at
have
the
a
same
completely
time.
different contractor.
But that's why we bid it out to get the best price. Something like this, it's critical to have good project, but it's also critical to have it to be competitive.
That's not uncommon at all to have the two contractors doing work on the same service line replacement project.
Yeah, you were saying with me, you had like three or four of them, as many as they could get in there.
Benton Harbor had multiples, Denver, yeah. As many as they can do to get the best pricing.
Thank you. You need a vote. All those in favor, raise your hand. Thank you very much. Unanimous.
You have to sign that before we leave, please.
Okay, thank you. Let's see, the next thing is K. No,
J.
no, we just did I. J.
J.
H-I. J. Approve, I need a motion to approve the three-phase transformer bid, attachment 6J.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
6J.
Discussion, please?
You have a question?
No, I got all those answers before we got into this meeting.
I did have a question. With, I understand the extremely long lead time of like Eaton Direct on these. Do we give any consideration like the annual usage on like a 1,000 kilovolt or kVA transformer to like maybe pre-purchase at these lower quoted prices? I know for this with Spectron, we essentially have to go with the quicker lead time. If not, we'd have to put a temporary transformer in place, pull at a later date, and that'd be increased labor costs. Is there consideration given when a quote's like this and they're substantially cheaper to possibly order for next year if they'll be used?
We don't have any intention to use any
Okay.
right now, so we kind of do it on a case-by-case basis.
Okay.
So that third one will just sit out there, but if one were to fail on the system right now, we wouldn't have one to replace it with. So that was also a priority to get in stock.
So low use item that there would be no reason to have additional stock.
And the
for.
ones we've had in stock have gone out pretty quickly as of late because of expansions and,
Yes,
yeah.
that's what I worried about.
Yeah, we put an old one, was it 1,000 out there, the new Shell building? A 2,000, we put an old one out there we had sitting around because the lead times are so, this is for 4 transformers at $158,810.88.
What was that lead time compared to everything else?
6 to 7 weeks, and then some of them got into the 50 to 70.
59 to 70 weeks.
The next closest lead time is 3 times longer than Maddox,
Yeah.
which would require the additional labor of a temporary.
Additional cost.
And you know, in these, you know, the question came up beforehand, and I'm happy to address. Well, why isn't the 2 of these are for Spectron? Why doesn't Spectron pay for these upfront? Well, while we are not governed by the IURC, we're not under their umbrella. We use IURC guidelines on many things, and one of those things is what we call the 30-month test. What they call the 30-month test. So if someone were to come, and even on a pole barn in a residential area, someone were to come and say, hey, I'm adding this building, or I need to add a meter, and my usage is going to be this, which is what we require every new customer to do. My usage is going to be this. I need you to come to me. This is what I need, transformer-wise, meter-wise, infrastructure-wise. What's it going to cost me? We say, okay, so your usage is going to be this. Our total revenue is going to be over 30 months. If your usage is this, is going to be X. You pay for everything after that total revenue of 30 months. But we eat the 30 months because we're going to get that back in 5 to 7 years, as far as cost goes. So we still have to pay the energy of that. Like I know 30 months doesn't eat in 5 to 7 years,
Yeah,
but
don't go
but
there.
but what I'm saying is in net margin, it takes 5 to 7 years to pay that back because we still have to pay the energy. So their bill is mostly energy anyways. So it takes time to pay that back. So they are paying that back through their patronage, through their usage, through their demand. But we take that 30 month test, and that is our investment in the infrastructure. And again, here we talked about last meeting about the Spectron campus and the fact that we're going to go past that in overall upgrades to try to loop the system a little better and get it underground along the backside of that industrial park. So again, that customer is paying for it. Now, if it were a high risk customer, someone who's just comes in and says, I need all of this, you go ahead and order that for me. Next year I'm going to put, we don't do that. We don't, you know, they would pay for 100% of that up front, and we would make the order and they wouldn't get their money back, period.
That's right.
So we hedge our bets as far as that goes. we're not gonna put the rest of the ratepayers out on a potential customer, but those customers that are already here or we know are gonna be here, and anything over that 30-month, we take up front. We say it's gonna cost you this, and we take up front. So everything on the other side of that, before we do anything, they were required to do that. Even if it's a pole barn and we're just putting a meter on the side of a pole barn, but we have to do $8,000 worth of work to get it back to that pole barn, that customer pays the balance.
And we've had a hard time getting transformers in the past without 1, 2, 3 years, as I remember, right?
Some of them were used to be, yeah.
Yeah, but we're getting better now.
It's getting better. It's still not within a couple weeks, but I mean, there are standard. What's that looking like now on our standard lead time wise?
4 months.
So we do keep some of the other ones in stock and we order the ones that we use regularly.
But the thousands are obscure enough, little use that
Yeah,
storage is a concern.
Yeah, you hate to spend $60,000 on a transformer that's going to sit here and
May not be used.
never be used. But like we have had a run on them lately on our excess transformers, so he's been trying to get ahead of that.
Vote? Unanimous, thank you. Now we go to
Long term.
Did you want to say that?
No, go ahead. That's just helping.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome there.
K, 6K, long-term control plan from our mighty leader.
We had a meeting last week via Zoom with IDEM, our engineers, Bowen, Corey, Jamin, and I, to talk about where we're at long-term with this project. And as we discussed in previous meetings, trying to the money that we have, the rate that we have in place, try to get that fit into the entire project, make the entire project work, or find ways to build the storage part of it and then the end stuff work through later, and seeing how IDM looks at that. They were pretty non-committal, as they probably should be. I mean, it all comes down to how we mitigate any further CSOs and how many CSO events we have annually. They want to see that in single digits, regardless of what we can or can't afford, or when we started or didn't start the project. And it's not IDEM necessarily leaning on that. It's EPA holding IDEM's feet to the fire. So anything that we come up with to further jam this project into what we can afford has to meet that criteria. Even if we petition to schedule it out farther, say, hey, look, we're not going to comply. We're not raising our rates again to fit this large project in this small hole. What if we have more time? What if so we've already went down this road with them in 17 and 18. We're trying to go down that road with them again, all the while working simultaneously to get the project in full for the money we have. So they just asked for us to provide them with a schedule. So we're working on that. Our engineers are working on that. Anything you can add to that? Did I misconstrue anything? Now, don't get me wrong, there's been a lot of frustration in these meetings. So I'm calmly relating this, but these meetings haven't been. And IDEM's been great. Don't get me wrong, they haven't. It's just, we're at that point where we have to start moving dirt. We have to start getting money and moving dirt, having the funds and moving dirt. So it's going to happen. It's just how it happens. We're still trying to push every button and pull every lever that we have to fit this project into the money we have. And we continue to beat the 3.25 MHI percent of MHI our rates are, and they wanted around 2% MHI, and we continue to beat that drum with the IFA and with IDEM and wherever it shakes out, you know, we just have to deal with it. So I don't have any more information on that other than what I've said at this time. And then I'll provide you with more information on that February 10th deadline for financing here in the next week or so.
Is that gonna cause us any problem in getting material wise for all this project? Material wise?
No, I don't believe so. I don't believe so. I don't think material's the issue. It's the CSO, the occurrences. Is that the correct occurrences?
How many occurrences do you have?
Okay, yes. Where
They want a single digit occurrences for the, you know, for the year, and that will be
and that sounds
difficult
like
to do.
it sounds like that's the UAA line. Like if you want a UAA, that's great, but you still need to be in that single occurrence.
Yeah, there's still criteria you have to meet in order to do that.
Yeah, not 10, not 10.2. We have 9, and right now we do that on a dry month. We do it never or on.
Dry month, I mean, yeah. They're still, for the ones that go over frequently, they're gonna go over more than just, in the course of a year, we're gonna be outside of single digits.
Yeah.
It's just the nature of our system.
And then you can occurrences how when it happens, and then it can continue to happen, and then once it stops, then it starts again. It could start again the next day, and now you're in that second occurrence. It's not like just because it's the same rain event doesn't mean that. So.
The MHI that you're talking about, it's the median household.
Median household income.
Why are they arguing percentages? I mean, why isn't it? I know that we were talking about if we are at a certain percentage, but why isn't there a standard yet?
Because wastewater rates across the state have been increasing with these projects, so they can't really set a standard. Because like I said, I believe it was $2 billion worth of people on the PPL, worth of communities in Indiana alone needing funding for wastewater projects. That's with a B on the PPL. And right now we're at the top. But if we punt here, we won't be at the top. And is the money there? The money's there on the lead service line. There's $3 billion out there, 3.1 billion. It's out there on the lead service line, and we're taking advantage of it. It is not out there on the wastewater side. The funding's there, but it's not free money. There's not grants out there on the federal side, and if there are, Indiana usually takes care of that, and they're just not. So we're gonna keep chipping away and working through it. And like I said, I'll give you a little more information on that February 10th deadline for going to the market for our bonds for the 80 million.
With not having the next meeting until February 4th, what does that timeline look like as we approach? I know it's an estimate right now, but what does that look like?
More than likely,
as
I'll
far
have
as-
everything ready for you to make the decision on the 4th.
Okay.
Hopefully.
And like I said, we've had the discussion on if we move forward, we get that $6 million grant, and we get 1% financing for the first 25 million. If we punt, we lose all that potentially. More than likely is what the IFA is telling us, because we go back to that PPL, we have to rescore on that PPL. And if we rescore on that PPL, all of it could come from open market bonds, and none of it could come from the 25 million. And right now, they're $25 million through the state, where they're offering us 1%. It's at 2.2% from what we were told from Baker Tilly.
So we gotta grab it while we got a chance, right?
I believe so, and we've talked about it, and that's, I'll provide you more information on that here shortly, within the next week or so before the February 4th meeting. I think we'll definitely have to make that decision on February 4th to move forward or wait another quarter.
We can't push it too far down the line, we ain't gonna get it done.
if we are in this position, which we won't be, I will not be here if we're in this position. You guys should fire me if we're in the same position this time next year. Yes, we won't get a project done in time. But we need to follow through now and get it done.
None of us may
That's
be
not
here
gonna
in this,
fly. I'll tell
none
you
of
right
us
now,
may
that's
be in
not
this
gonna fly.
position
Well,
to help you out either.
you know, we've talked for since 2017, 2018. We talked about we need to get this project done. Whether it should have been done beforehand, it's our circus and our clowns now. So we are responsible. Everyone here in management's responsible. No matter what type of mess we've had to clean up or how far we've had to go back to get caught up with this project, it's our circus, our clowns. You know what I mean? So we've got to get it done, and we've got to make the commitment to do it, and we will, one way or the other. It may not be what we want, but the project has to get done. So I'm off my soapbox. That's all I have on the long-term control plan, unless you have anything, Nick or Corey. That
Just to say that I don't think the urgency hasn't been there the entire time. I mean, but I think that in the beginning we had an urgency to find the right thing to do and to research that because the research wasn't there. So just know that out loud.
Thank you.
I know this board's been working hard on it, and I know our team has been working hard on it since 2017, the end of 2017.
That's
So,
always been in the back of my mind, because I don't wanna pay that, what is it, $25,000 a day?
up to $25,000 a day. That's always the threat, but you know, maybe if it's like $500 a week, we just nah, it's a joke.
No,
Haha.
no,
That's
no.
don't take
Well,
this.
the original summary judgment had 10 different categories at $500 a week, which rapidly increased from what you and I discussed this week.
And-
That was in 2007,
Yeah.
so.
And if you go back, I'm glad you said. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. No.
And if you go back and you look at that summary judgment from 2007, there are specific paragraphs in there that basically say it doesn't matter whether your management's poor, whether your board's poor, as far as their performance. We don't care. That's not an excuse, and it doesn't matter if you can't afford it. In another paragraph, directly the next paragraph, I believe,
Yes.
it doesn't matter if you can't afford it. We don't care. Like, I mean, it doesn't say that in those manners, but it doesn't matter. You have to find the financing and you have to find the revenue. They don't care.
And if we would have pulled the trigger 5 years ago, we would have been paying a heck of a lot more than this anyway. Well,
Depending on what
maybe
the project was.
right,
though.
not right before
The way
COVID, but we did. I mean, the project expense at that point was
during COVID would have been really high. Before COVID,
right
it would have been less.
for it, but right then we wanted to do the due diligence to find
Right.
the right thing to do.
And we
so.
would have been doing way more of a project than we need because the original engineering, and we whittled that down by what, 50 million now, 40 something million. So we would have been paying more for a larger project than we need to meet the minimum requirement.
Yeah, but we're still not doing everything that we had in the schedule and the updates on stuff around the city that was figured into that plan at that time. I remember
It's a
this.
different plan.
Yeah, that's
That plan.
what I'm saying is now we've whittled it down.
It was so
to-
high.
Yeah.
But we whittled everything off, the underpass and all this other stuff, to 10 million here and 15 million here, and we got it down, what, 84 million now, right?
The construction cost was 86, I think, 85 or 86. Yeah, we've got it down to that. We believe we're going to get below that
And we're gonna have
once the
to
ROM hits. Yeah,
get 25 million from the state at 1%, right? Am I correct in this?
Yep.
And then we gotta go to the bond market.
correct. And we're looking at possibly another 60 million in the open bond market, but with the state's AAA credit.
With the state's what else?
AAA credit.
AAA credit, which will make it a lot better on us if we do it
Yeah.
now. If it goes
But we've got,
down on our rating, will cost you more money.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah, okay. I just want to verify it.
So, that's it.
that's all I
That's
have.
plenty, but I don't need to,
No answers. Feel like a
Just don't-
politician.
Just don't get burnt out on us, Josh, before you get this settled, okay,
even-
please?
It won't just
And
be
don't
me.
even entertain the
It'll be
idea that you're gonna go anywhere, because the board will not
Hey,
approve it.
hey, we got a job to do, and
That's
you're paying
right.
me to do it, and I'll do it to the best of my ability.
I know.
Okay.
Okay, city administration update. Mr. Fisher,
Yeah, the mayor didn't really have anything to share, but I will say that, they completed removing all of the bales of plastic and cardboard and whatnot out of the, buildings behind Hardee's. And, there's still just some loose stuff left on the floor, but that was a major project, and that's almost completed. Other than that, I don't really have any updates.
okay, thank you very much. Mr. Stevenson,
I'll have
thank you. City attorney? Is he
I'll
still on?
apologize if you hear dogs in the background. But at this point, I have to discuss, I was going to bring to the attention that I reached out to the gentleman regarding the potential easement issue with the U.S. Railroad Vest Corporation that we discussed in the executive session last week, or 2 weeks ago, last board meeting. He is going to get back with me. He had to talk to one of the other partners or members of the corporation regarding this and seeing realistically what they would accept or what they'd be willing to do to resolve this. And I don't know, cost benefit analysis, if we can get an easement and not have to, for fairly cheap, we wouldn't have to relocate the poles or anything like that, which would be beneficial. But again, unless they come down significantly off the 14,000 he was last at, I don't know that we consider that. So again, waiting game.
Okay,
And that's all I had.
thank you. Does anybody have any comments to make?
How much easement are we gonna get out of this $14,000?
Very,
For life or a year,
It'd be-
6 months, or what?
No, it'd be a permanent easement, and the $14,000. I mean, that's what they wanted, but I, way too high. I think it's tenfold too high. But essentially, just a utility easement over what we have, and to be able to run our power lines across the property. I mean, it would not be a large easement by any means.
Good question. We'll keep working on it then.
I will do that because he does not let me miss a day. Every day since the last board meeting when I told him, he's sent me multiple emails. So
well, how many people are involved?
I have only spoken with the one individual, but I don't know how many people are involved in that corporation.
A corporation of two then?
It could be two, it could be 200. I truly do not know.
Okay, I believe you. Thank you.
Yep.
Do you have anything else for us?
Not at this time.
Okay, well, thank you for staying with us.
You are welcome.
Moving on to the manager's report.
Thank you, Mary. We, the union and the management have agreed on a memo of understanding for our contract language on procedure regarding our severance. So a little background here. In 1980, do the math. In 1980, the union and management agreed to, and I'll just read it to you. Employees who have accumulated 376 sick hours and do not use and or take any sick days throughout an entire yearly quarter prior to retirement will receive 8 hours additional severance pay upon retirement or resignation. And then in parentheses it says the first yearly quarter for earning and banking on such days will be April of 1980, so 46 years. And then employees at their option may defer their severance pay to the Indiana Deferred Compensation Plan, and that I think probably came in a little bit later. So at the end of the year, if someone doesn't call in sick and they have all of their sick days maxed out, they have to do that first, and it takes something like 3.5 years to do that of not calling in sick. They get an extra day's severance each quarter, and at the end of the year, that money they can put that into their deferred comp, or what's called Hoosier Start now. On one paycheck, or they just leave it there. And if they leave it there in the severance, it draws no interest for the employee. It just sits there until they want to do something. And most people don't do anything with it because they really don't. When they transfer it over, they transfer the entire amount of those 4. If you don't call it sick for the year, of those 4 days into the Indiana Deferred Comp or severance or Hoosier Start, and then they take the taxes out of your paycheck. So people don't like doing it all at once in 1 year because they get half a paycheck or a quarter of a paycheck or whatever it is, because we have to transfer the entire amount. So I don't know, ever since I've been here, I'm not even the one that brought this up, but ever since I've been here, I've always like, well, I don't want to do that. None of this makes any sense to me. So it's just kind of an antiquated thing that we've done. We just want to make it easier for the union and for actually everybody gets it. It's just in the union book, and that's the policy we go by for some reason. So we changed the language to where we'll do that once a quarter, and so you'll get that. If you get that 8 hours that quarter, only that 8 hours gets transferred to your deferred comp or your Hoosier Start, and you only take the tax hit on the 8 hours instead of every January. But we're not, or you get the money and you go invest it yourself. We've got a liability on the books for years and years and years for people that don't do anything with that money, and it's not really that much. It's $1,200 for some people. Some people have never done it, and they've got maybe $5,000 sitting there. But again, when they transfer it, it's taxable income, so they get taxed on it. So anyway, so we've got money just sitting there. We're going to get rid of it. We're going to zero all that out this quarter. You either take it or you put it in your deferred comp. That's your choice. And then from here on out, every quarter, we're going to do that with that 8 hours. So our employees just get a huge tax hit on that, especially if they have never transferred it, and they don't get any benefit out of it. So why keep it? And again, it's a liability just sitting on the books for years and years, $1,000 here, $200 here. So we just change it to where we're going to do it every quarter, and we're going to cash out what's there now. You have no choice. You either cash it out or you roll it into your Hoosier Start. And the union agreed to this. They were actually happy about it because it's just confusing. And so again, we signed that. I just wanted to pass that along. That's what we did. There's no extra cost. There's no less cost. It's the same exact program. We're just cashing out what's already there, making them go invest it themselves, or putting it into Hoosier Start. They have no choice, and we zero it out every quarter. And so that liability is just not sitting on the books for years or decades at a time. Any questions on that? And you know, some would say, if you look at this from a management perspective, that when we do things like this with the union, that even the union, you could say, is losing any leverage or bargaining because we're not using this for later. Like we're not going to hold this in our pocket and say we're going to give you this. I don't agree with that philosophy. We don't work that way. I think by taking care of these things on their individual merits when they come up and working together, if we can come to a solution together, sometimes you can't. We get a better solution that way. We get more buy-in. So that's why we didn't wait till the negotiations next year to take care of something. And it's really just a small thing, but But I think we got a great union. We got great people in the union, and I think it just helps build trust and helps us kind of come to a common solution to just even small problems like this. So that's why we did it now instead of waiting.
It's nice to hear you speak that well of the union.
We have a great relationship with you. Now we don't always see eye to eye. I mean that's human nature. It's a workplace, but as unions go, everybody here is pretty reasonable.
That's great.
Let's see, Michelle, you should have the year-end or at least the December financials. That is in record time. She had that done last Friday, I think, or maybe Monday. I can't remember when I got them, but so thank you, Michelle and Marisa. I know Marisa helped and Leah helped and Terry did. So good job with that. And then so we're pretty close to getting year-end done.
Just have a few more reports and stuff to do, but I've already sent that to Baker Tilly so they can get their stuff going for the
Both financing.
financing.
So we'll get them a better estimate on what our rates need to be, our revenue requirements for both the financings now that we've got the year and she's got the year in financials done. So, and then we're just prepping for the cold spell coming up. 2 weeks of really cold weather, possible snowstorms here, but I mean it changes every hour as to how far north it goes. So, so our focus is going to be over the next couple of days for sure is to make sure our people have everything they need and we're ready to go, prepped, our vehicles are ready, our equipment's ready, and then Mike's talked to the guys about if it gets as bad as they say it's going to get, they're scaring everybody down south that if mutual aid's needed, we're going to take care of ourselves first, and maybe if we have a couple guys that want to do that, we'll let them do that. So hopefully it doesn't get that bad down south. So that's all I have. Any questions? Anything I can answer? Anything mind?
Covered it pretty well.
Anything we can do better? I can do better.
Yeah, we're real happy with you.
If we figure out what it is, we might be able to tell you.
You gotta let me know.
Okay.
I don't know if you don't tell me. So
Okay, last thing on the agenda is the adjournment. I need a motion, please.
Motion to adjourn.
Second,
I'll second.
thank you. Vote.